They asked Shaq, should a man open up to a woman? Shaq said no. He says, because if you do, they're going to use it against you. He said, because if I'm crying about something, they're going to say the first time they get mad, they're going to say, see, you crying because your daddy said what he said.
How do you take advice from a man who has no woman?
So if you've been on social media and follow Shannon Sharpe on YouTube, you know that he recently had Monique on his podcast. She said something about Shaq, which I believe was supposed to be a shaming lesson, that because he's single, men shouldn't be receiving dating advice from him, which would disqualify him from giving his opinion about women. However, Shaq believes men shouldn't open up to women, and she believes he's wrong for that. Check this clip out.
Shaq, should a man open up to a woman? Shaq said no. He says, because if you do, they're going to use it against you. He said, because if I'm crying about something, they're going to say the first time they get mad, they're going to say, see, you crying because your daddy said what he said.
How do you take advice from a man who has no woman? And I love Shaq. But how do you take advice from my brother that has no one?
Okay.
If you have that person in your life and you say, listen, I'm going through. Who else do you talk to at nighttime in your pillow talk? Who else do you share your life with? Who are you sharing with your life with, Shaq? Do you tell another man about your situation? And does he make you feel better? Like, who do you share your life with? So I don't agree with that at all. And I love my brother, but I don't agree with that. I think that makes division. Because if I got to call my girl and I talk to my husband.
Right.
When I heard Oprah say, and these are her words, not mine. She said, when I be stressed out and I be going through it after the show, I will come home and Gail could calm me down and put me to sleep. What you say?
What's that?
Okay, then you said it. I'm going to
Nope. Oh, I'm your Oprah.
Well, Shaq saw it and responded. I give my thoughts after this clip, but check out what he had to say.
I love my brother Shaq, but who do you open up to? So she did disagree with you.
The answer, my beautiful sister, and I love you too, Monique. First of all, let me address this. We can have respectful disagreements without getting personal. And I would never get personal with Miss Monique.
Yeah.
I'll never get personal with a woman. On air, on social media. I love Monique. She knows I love her. But I'm going to address her questions. She used the word pillow talk. I don't pillow talk. She used the word, Shaq doesn't have a woman. Really, Monique? Monique, really? But who do I open up to? Nobody. And let me tell you why. Because my remedy to success is I have sayings. Like, for example, on the way over here, I saw 7 homeless people, bro. Who am I to complain? I flew here private. I got my whole crew with me. We got $1 million suite. So in other words, before I start getting all sad, I say, shut up. Man up and figure it out. So therefore, all the problems that I have to define if they're really problems. And they're not. There's people with far worse problems than I got. And I feel for those people. So I don't complain. Because again, I was raised by a drill sergeant. And I'm glad he raised me the way he raised me. So to answer my beautiful sister Monique, when I have problems, I have to define if they're real problems. And most of the time, they're not. He said something about me. She said something about, no, I'm not that guy. I'm here.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm here because so many people depend on me. My mother depends on me. I ain't got time to be soft. My father told me, you don't play well, your mama gonna lose her house. Imagine that pressure.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna get my mama a new house.
The only time where I think I've seen you emotional is when you went through that awful stretch with family loss.
Yes.
Do you go to family in times like were you able, or do family members come to you?
I'm always going to be emotional about my sister and Kobe.
Yeah.
It's my fault. And what I mean by it's my fault, I could have been the bigger man and be like, baby sister, I love you. Cole, what's up, my boy?
Yeah.
Like, when you're a leader, you don't have to wait.
And in those moments, you looked at the situation and
you always think you have time.
Yeah.
You always think you have time. Like, I need to start calling you more. I know I see you every Tuesday, but I need to I can't take you around and see you and you're gonna see me. So
That's why you say I love you all the time.
yeah, but
I respect
so
that.
that's gonna always be with me. But then again, I'm not gonna be at home pillow talking, tell us in my ear. It's just something I deal with, and I deal with it my own way.
You do more than talk on that pillow, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes, exactly. No, but now again, the clip that went viral, this is just me.
Yeah.
You don't have to use my method. You ask me what I do, and I say no. But I like it because people can agree or disagree, but this is who I am, and I'm not going to change.
Yeah, you're not asking other people to do the same thing.
I'm just saying this is not nothing I do because I'm taught to be a man's man.
Yeah.
If you got problems, deal with it. Don't put those problems on your wife and your kids. Deal with it, sucker.
So it sounds like Shaq was just making a general statement. Men oftentimes don't pay close attention to the details or the specifics of a thing like women do. They tend to be more concrete in their approach or response. Shaq, to me, what it sounds like, he's just speaking his opinion from his own experiences. Here you have someone who is rich, can have any woman he wants, but the disadvantage with having a lot of money is it's hard to find people you can trust. It's hard to find a woman you can trust that's actually for you and not for your pocketbook, right? We see what opening up to the wrong woman has led many men. Take Tyrese and his ex-wife Samantha for an example. Because the wrong woman will use a man's weakness as ammunition against them when they're mad, when the relationship don't go the way that they want. So on one side, I understand what Shaq is saying. I don't think he's spreading division. I think as a man, he's just built to be cut and dry with things. Had he not been honest about his infidelity with his first wife, Shani, then maybe I could fully agree with Monique. Shaq pretty much just comes off as someone who's just going to give it to you the way that it is. Monique, of course, is seeing it from an emotional standpoint, because as women, we have to be able to open up with a man emotionally, and it starts with that communication. You know, for us, it is pillow talk. And so we have to be receiving that emotional security, right? And be with a man who's open and transparent with us. And again, I understand her stance on that too. But this all goes back with opening up to the right woman. And I don't believe a man have to be in a relationship in order to give dating or marriage advice. Now, if it's a single woman, that's different. Because there are many single women, especially all over social media, giving dating advice, and they are dividing up relationships and marriages. The thing about a man receiving dating or marriage advice, because Shaq was married, and so he pretty much have experience. There are things that he's learned through his own mistakes that he can pass on to the next man. And I would take dating advice from a man before a woman any day, because women are likely to respond on emotion. Men, again, they are just going to give you the cold, hard facts and truth. You're not going to get that from a woman. Now, something that I wouldn't suggest is I wouldn't suggest anyone to take marriage advice from a woman who married a man and was sleeping with other men, and then years later come out and say, I grew out of having an open marriage. And don't get me wrong, I believe Monique is one of the most transparent people in Hollywood. And she's most definitely being used right now to expose a lot on Oprah, you know, Tyler Perry, many people again in Hollywood. But you can't give a shaming lesson and not look at your own fruit. Because marriage doesn't always mean you're winning. And single doesn't always mean you're losing. But that's enough of my thoughts. If you found this content helpful, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe.